Hey everybody, Riot Mort here, back with another patch rundown, the patch 14.13 rundown, and this is the last competitive patch. This is the patch that a lot of regional championships will be played on, and the final championship will be played on, so this is it. We've reached the end of the competitive split, and so a couple changes here. The meta overall, really good. There is a lot of playable lines. There's 2 cost rerolls, there's 3 costs, there's 4 costs. A lot of playable lines. So it's not a very large patch, but we do want to make a couple adjustments, couple quality of life things as we head into those championship before the final patch. So let's jump right in. First off, prismatic orbs are now more likely to drop. Now, keep in mind, when we say more likely, we're talking like 1 in 1,000 became 1 in 500. Those aren't the exact numbers, but the point is, they're still very rare. But, right now it was like people were just never seeing them. So we do want you to see them occasionally. So they've gone up a little bit. Again, still very rare. Golden item remover. This has been a popular, cool thing. We made a small quality of life change here. If you have a golden item remover or you get one, all existing item removers on your bench will instantly become reforgers. And if a player would gain a new item remover, they'll instead gain a reforger. So again, this is just, that small quality of life where you're like, I already have one. Even though it's free, it feels bad. So at least you get a little something. This should bring a little more smile to your face. Good stuff. On the trait side, Faded, definitely the most consistent line. Not necessarily the best line, but definitely the most consistent. And we've seen the Ahri Syndra pairing just give it a ton of damage. So we're lightly tapping that specific pairing. The Ahri AP bonus is going to go from 30 to 27, and the Syndra damage bonus amp going from 11 to 10%. So if you were using any of the other Faded links, not nerfed, but just that one nerfed a bit here. So that's going to bring down the spell power of that Syndra line a little bit, that Faded Dryad. And again, it's generally been the most consistent line. So maybe it'll need to find a new pairing. We'll see. Ink Shadow Vertical, basically we don't see this very often, so we're going to buff this up a bit. The damage amp and damage reduction of 5 and 7 Ink Shadow is going to go up. Cool. Sniper, this nerf ended up being a mistake. It kind of pushed Sniper right back out of the meta. Shows how fragile our game is when 1% can make this big a difference. But Sniper, we're basically undoing the nerf from last patch. So it's going to go from 8/17/33 to 8/18/35. On the champion side, this is the only champion change in the entire patch. Kaisa buff. Cool. We want Kaisa to be able to get that spell off a little bit more often. So Kaisa should help AD lines as well. If you get that Fortune start, I imagine this is going to make Fortune pretty strong in the competitive scene. But this should help Kaisa get that second cast, hopefully. And again, open up some new lines in the meta where Trick Shot can be viable. So pretty big buff, though. We'll see what it does. On the item side, Cursed Blade. It came, it saw, it was still buggy. It's gone again. Sad. Cursed Blade, bye. Some will miss you, others won't. Otherwise, a few artifacts that are still underperforming a little what we'd like. Luden's Tempest is going to get 5 more AD and AP. Prowler's Claw is going to get 10% more AD, and Rapid Fire Cannon is going to get 15% more attack speed. So at this point, Rapid Fire Cannon's a lot of attack speed alone. You might even be fine putting this on a backliner just for that big burst of attack speed. So again, just buffing a few artifacts that need a little more love compared to the rest. On the augment side, Silver Ticket now grants 3 gold. Cool. Built Different, still underperforming from where we'd like it, so it gains more health. It is up to 50 health by the end, so this should help Built Difference late game pretty well. And some hero augment nerfs here. Ethereal Blades, going to do 15% less damage amp here. Pretty chunky nerf for Ethereal Blades, but it got buffed from the Behemoth bug fix, so that should come down. Storied Champion also gets 5% less ability bonus true damage. Again, light nerfs. I don't imagine this knocks these out of the meta, but maybe in the pro player's hands, it's not, a 40% first place rate. So hopefully this brings those down. And then Mulched has been underperforming for a bit, so it's going to get 3% of its damage amp back. And that's kind of it. Like that's the patch. So again, not a lot here. There will be one more patch afterwards for bug fixes here. Reapers will no longer keep the ability to critical strike with their abilities after the trait has been deactivated. And this is a nice Ink Shadow one. Tattoo of Protection now properly shields based off the unit's maximum health at the time of casting. So again, for our competitive players, not wildly shifting the meta here. You should be able to know everything that you had practiced and it shouldn't wildly change. And then one more thing here, for those of you that are enjoying Pengu's Party, we're really happy you're enjoying Pengu's Party, but we do have a few changes for you. Coven is going to get buffed. The 2-piece Coven is going to gain more AP, and both are going to gain more mana. Imperial 2 is going to be able to buff another unit. Mascot 2 is going to have way more base health regen. Socialite 2, 1 and 2 are going to get buffed. More damage amp, more omni vamp. Excuse me. Trainer gets a bit of a buff and a nerf. The buff here is that if Namzi's target dies during cast, we'll choose a new target. So no more fireballs shooting off to the distance. But Namzi's burn damage was actually doing 2% from back in the old days instead of 1% like it's supposed to. So now Namzi's burn does what it's supposed to there. And then finally, Yordle. Yordle, definitely the easiest to play line. Yordle is going to require 6 3-stars now before you can start making Vagars. And those Vagars are going to do 10% less spell damage. So if you can still get Vagar 3, it'll still be powerful. Cool. But, you know, when players are hitting 2 Vagar 3s in the same game, it's probably a bit too easy. So Yordle has been nerfed. And there you go. This patch comes out Wednesday. And then just so you know, it is a 3-week patch with the Riot Summer Break happening the first week of July. And then after that, we'll have a patch, which should be our last patch. Sometimes you guys often dub it the For Fun patch. So there should be some cool changes there. And then our next set heads to PBE. So that'll be fun. We're almost there. It should be exciting. Reminder, I may not be able to do a patch rundown for the next one, as for the month of July, I will be moving. I'll do my best. You never know. Maybe I get lucky and things are set up early. We'll see, but probably not. Don't count on it. So, yeah. All right, there you go. Good luck to all the competitors. Good luck at your regionals and your Worlds finals. Can't wait to see who comes out on top. Should be exciting. All right, that's going to do it for me. Until next time, take it easy.